up, guys? So I'm back with another video showing you how to cook things the way I cook things. That may or may not come out exactly the way the thumbnail looks. But regardless, it's gonna be delicious, I can promise you that. Alright, so today's video, we're gonna be making a Maryland favorite. If you're not from Maryland and you've never been to Maryland, you have no idea what I'm talking about. I promise you it's fantastic. Ask any Marylander when it starts getting warm out, what do? They go crabbing. You get crabs. Yep. And the only thing you're supposed to put on steamed blue crabs is Old Bay. I personally don't like eating crabs. I think it's a waste of time, and I hate the way it sounds when everybody around me is making all the noises that I can't stand because I keep slurping. It drives me insane. But anyway, we're gonna be making a Maryland favorite. It's called cream of crab soup. But not just any cream of crab soup. I'm gonna throw a curveball at you. It's gonna be a gluten-free, dairy-free cream of crab soup. Now, before all of you get all butthurt and bent out of shape, listen, I'm gonna show you how to make regular, classic cream of crab soup for all you purists out there. But I wanna let most people here know that it can be done if you can't have dairy or if you don't like gluten. I'm neither one of those, but you know what I'm saying? Sometimes they wanna eat some good food too. So here I am. For you, helping you out. All right, so first things first, let's go over our ingredients. First up on the list, you're gonna need a whole onion. It doesn't matter what kind of onion, just get one. It can be a yellow onion, a Vidalia onion, a purple onion, a white onion. Doesn't matter, just get one. Next up on the list, you're gonna need 3 garlic cloves. And to the guy that commented on my other video complaining about when I said garlic cloves in a bag is not fresh, yes it is, shut your mouth. Next up on the list, we're gonna need about a 1/4 cup of fresh parsley. Now once you're done chopping up all that, that's all the chopping and cutting you're gonna need for this entire recipe. Other ingredients include coconut milk, or in my case, I'm using coconut almond milk because I have it in my fridge. You're gonna need olive oil, about a 1/4 cup of olive oil, or coconut oil, or avocado oil, or literally anything that you can have. Okay, now for the original recipe, instead of olive oil or coconut oil, you're just gonna use a whole stick of butter. It's 10 times better that way, but you'll never know because you can't eat it. So this is gonna taste fantastic because you'll never know what you're missing. Instead of coconut milk, or in my case, coconut almond milk, if you're making it original, you're just gonna use 4 cups of half and half, or a pint of whole heavy cream. Next up on the list, you're going to need about a 1/4 cup of coconut flour. For the gluten side, you're gonna need about a 1/4 cup of regular white flour. Regular old flour. I didn't try this with any other like almond flour or cashew flour. Is there a cashew flour? I don't know. Any other flours, I just used coconut flour because I had it and it worked out fantastic. So after that, the normal recipe when it comes to cream of crab soup asks for sherry wine. I don't drink sherry wine, so I'm not just gonna have it, and I'm not just gonna buy a bottle of sherry wine to make cream of crab soup because I don't really make this that often. So what I do is I normally use Hennessy, and it comes out fantastic. So I use Hennessy because I have Hennessy and I drink Hennessy, and therefore I put Hennessy in my crab soup, okay? But today, I didn't have any Hennessy. All I had was Bullet Bourbon. Turns out, it's fantastic. You just need alcohol. Do what you do. And of course, last but not least, very most important thing to put in your crab soup, a pound of crab meat. It doesn't matter what kind of crab meat. If you feel like a baller, you feel like you got money, go ahead and get jumbo lump crab meat. I'm not stopping you. Me personally, claw meat was on sale, so that's exactly what I went with. It was like $10 for a whole pound. I'm not arguing with you. I'm not gonna stop you, okay? Just do what you do. Make sure there's a pound. That's all I gotta say. So So the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna get our pot on the stove. We're gonna get it hot. Once your pot is hot, go ahead, throw your olive oil in. For those of you doing a regular recipe, throw your entire stick of butter in. But control the heat on the stick of butter because it'll burn really fast. That's the difference between olive oil and butter. Butter will burn, olive oil takes a little bit longer to burn. Once your olive oil is hot and or your butter is melted, go ahead and throw in your onion that you just chopped up and your garlic that you just chopped up. Once those onions start becoming translucent and they're sauteing up beautifully, go ahead and throw in your parsley. Now, once those onions, garlic, and parsley are nice and cooking, everything smells good, the onions are looking translucent, go ahead and take that 1/4 cup of coconut flour, dump that in. Now this is the part where you're gonna have to pay attention, okay? You might even wanna lower the heat a little bit. But you're just gonna mix it up. It might get a little pasty, but that's what you want. See now, what it does is your fat and the flour, either butter, regular flour, olive oil, or coconut oil and coconut flour, when mixed together under heat or overheat, creates what is known as a roux. And a roux is a thickener. So especially because this is made with gluten-free and dairy-free stuff, you definitely need that thickener. So make sure that it looks almost pasty, coating around the onions and the garlic and everything. Then you should be good. Go ahead and take your coconut milk and slowly incorporate it into the roux. Make sure that you mix it up. You'll see clumps of like the paste, but not flour. You want just the clumps of paste, because the more you mix it up, the more that roux melts into your milk or coconut milk and starts to thicken it up, creating a delicious soup that is fantastic. Same thing goes with the non-dairy one that we're doing. Go ahead and throw your half and half in there or your heavy cream. Incorporate it in slowly. Now, here's something that I did when it comes to this recipe. I think I only did 3 cups of coconut milk, and then I did another cup of chicken stock. The reason I did that is because coconut milk really doesn't have a flavor. So it's just kind of creamy. It'll make your food creamy. That's about it. Chicken stock has a flavor. It adds more flavor, and more flavor is always better. So that's why I did a cup of coconut milk. Now when I make this normally with all normal ingredients and I do a pint of heavy cream, I still do about 2 cups of chicken stock. And I slowly incorporate that into it. All right, now that we got our liquids incorporated into the soup, now it's time for the flavor, all right? First thing you're really gonna wanna do is salt and pepper. Those are the most important things when you're cooking anything, is salt and pepper. Now, go ahead and take out your secret weapon, okay? And for those of you that aren't from Maryland or anywhere around Maryland, Old Bay doesn't make sense to you. You probably have no idea what Old Bay is, but there has to be some kind of seafood seasoning or Cajun seasoning. That's the only kind of thing that I can compare it to, because Old Bay is a one-of-a-kind flavor. So if you don't have that, and you don't have like a seafood seasoning at all, the next best thing I would probably say is a Cajun seasoning, like a Zatarain's or Creole seasoning, something like that, something along those lines. Grab that. Now, kill it with Old Bay. That's my best measurement, because you're gonna put some in there, it's not gonna be enough. You're gonna put more in there, it's not gonna be enough. You're gonna put more in there, it's not gonna be enough. So just keep doing it until it tastes good. Season to taste. That is the most important thing when cooking anything that's not raw meat. Season to taste. So that means season it, stir it up, taste it. If it's not enough, season it again, stir it up, taste it again until it's fantastic. It's a scientific method. All right, so the very last thing you're gonna wanna incorporate into this soup is the crab meat, because it should already be cooked. If you got mine like in a can or in a container, it's already pasteurized, it's already cooked, you're good to go. And you don't wanna overcook crab meat. I don't know what happens to it because I never overcook it. You see what I'm saying? Exactly. Go ahead and just toss that right in the soup. Mix it up. Let it simmer for like maybe 5 minutes. all right, maybe 5 minutes. That's all it needs for that crab meat to get up to temperature, and then you're good to go. You're ready to eat. You're done. The whole soup is done. The world is easy, and you're not sick because it's gluten-free and it's dairy-free. Question: is there gluten in whiskey? Maybe. But if there is, I would suggest using Maker's Mark is gluten-free. Is Hennessy gluten-free? I don't know. You'll have to do your research. I have no idea. I'm only assuming. But yeah, that's about it. That's the recipe. That's the video for today. Tune in this Friday, I want to say, maybe, where I'm going to use more of this whiskey I bought to make one of my favorite drinks. I'm going to show you how to make it. It might be a new segment on my channel called Get Drunk With Me Fridays. Thirsty Thursdays too used. But anyway, thank you for watching. Subscribe, leave a comment telling me how I did it wrong, or if you liked it. I don't know, do something. I appreciate you. But until next time, I'm Brian. Thanks.